Hello and welcome on 360 Sports on Trust TV. Adeni Shafe. Just to let you have a feel of football there from Nigerian players. That's under 20 when they faced the Chipolopolo of Zambia before they went for the AFCON. Right now, Nigeria will be playing today. That's under 23. They'll be facing Guinea in their match for the under 23 AFCON qualifiers. Also, Coach Salisu is right now saying we won't disappoint Nigerians. That's the first story you'll be looking at. We won't disappoint Nigerians coming from Salisu Yusuf. That's the coach of the under-23 team, and I have in the studio Emmanuel Fashimi. Well, hopefully they won't disappoint Nigerians.
Yes, hopefully for Coach Salisu Yusuf, Nigerians will not be disappointed because we were not able to make it to the Chan Nations Cup under Coach Salisu Yusuf. The Ghanaians had to knock us out even right at the Abuja National Stadium, though it went on a penalty, but that is football. But in this particular game, it's just this is the first leg. The second leg will be coming up next week, so we have to get the result right today and make sure that we got that Chan qualification. If not anything outside that qualification, then for the scorecard of Salisu Yusuf, then I personally and every other loving football loving Nigerians will have to just give him a very bad sign.
Well, from the way it is right now, hopefully they will do well. They'll be facing the under-23 team of Guinea today in Abuja for the that's under-23 AFCON qualifiers there. But like you said, Salisu Yusuf knows that he needs to win this game, so at least to give those players that particular opportunity that by the time they go for the second leg, it will be coming up in Rabat. That'll be in Morocco, in a different country where it's not Guinea now. It's going to be playing in Morocco, Rabat precisely. If you can win this one, going to Rabat, at least the player psychologically they'll be up there.
Yes, psychologically you just need to first defeat them here. And how do you defeat them psychologically here? On the pitch, first we have to score a lot of goals. We shouldn't just score 1, 2, 3 goals. You can have at least 3 goals up advantage from here, and then going to Morocco, already you have a number of goals in your kitty, and then we can just go to Morocco. We can say it's a neutral ground because it's an adopted home for the Guineans. So psychologically we need to win on the pitch and then go there, get the job done. We need to qualify, because if we don't qualify, I think it's going to be a dent on Coach Salisu Yusuf credentials.
Well, we just hope that something good will happen from the under-23 Olympic Eagles there in that particular game. While the under-23 will be doing their business today, the Super Eagles camp is really bubbling as the man of the moment, Victor Osimhen, has finally joined them in the camp. Let's look at that story. Victor Osimhen joined Super Eagles in Abuja ahead of the qualifier that will be coming up on Friday, and the star boy, as they call him, the player with the mask, has arrived finally.
Yes, big one. It's a cheering news for all Nigerians and for the Super Eagles, because he is the star man right now. I'm quite happy that we have all our strikers in form, apart from Paul Onuachu, who is in there, that has not really been playing. Before he left Belgium, he has been fantastic. Then he made a very wrong move coming to Southampton. But for Victor Osimhen, I think Victor Osimhen has added spice and life into the squad, and we know that he's going to start. And in the last game we played, the qualifiers, he got a couple of goals against Atuma and Principe. He scored for Nigeria. So coming into the camp today, I think he's going to give us that confidence up front.
Osimhen is around, and we hope that he will add that spark. We saw what he did against Ghana. Despite the fact that his goals was ruled out, he still managed to score there. And right now, he's ever hungry for goals. Osimhen, Victor, among all the players that will be playing on Friday by the time they face the Jotsos of Guinea-Bissau in that particular game against them at the MK Abiola Stadium. Still rooting for Eagles. They need to really rewrite history when it comes to playing football for Nigeria. A lot of Nigerians are not happy for what has happened concerning Nigerian football. Well, right now, let's hope that things will get better as they prosecute those games. Under 23 Eagles, that's the Olympic Eagles today, and you have Super Eagles on Friday. Now we talk about the Nigerian National League, NNL. It has returned, and now matches have actually started. Let's look at some of those stories. NNL, Madiba FC, Ikorodu City, record wins in opening matches. They did well against all the teams they faced in their games, and good one. Let's look at the results as it went down just yesterday. Ikorodu City defeated FC Ebede 3-1. Madiba FC did well against Ekiti United 3-0. That's kind of a goal rush for those two teams from Lagos.
Really goal rush for those two teams in Lagos. The NLN, thank God, is up and running, because this is where we produce teams that come to the MPFL, and we have waited for this time to come up. And for Madiba FC, I think we remember the time of Julius Bergers of Lagos. They were one of the biggest teams we have in Nigeria then, and then playing in the Nigerian league then as at then. But right now, we don't have any team who is from Lagos playing in the MPFL. We still want to see teams from Lagos playing in the MPFL, and if Ikorodu FC gets it right this time around, or Madiba FC, I think we can have one of them playing in the MPFL next season.
Well, we're talking about the Nigerian National League, the second tier of Nigerian Football League. And right now, the good thing is that Ikorodu United, they did well winning there again. Also, Madiba FC also winning there against Ekiti United, and also FC Ebede. Now, still talking about the NNL, to continue today, let's look at some of those fixtures. We have the Northern Conference Group A1 for the season. Let's look at how it's going to be going down. Kogi United will be facing Hive Balls FC. You have Mighty Jets of Jos hosting EFCC FC of Abuja. Those are the two games earlier there. They will be coming up today.
I think Mighty Jets of Jos and EFCC is one of the biggest game for today, because I think EFCC will not forget in a hurry what Mighty Jets of Jos did to them, I think 3 seasons ago, where they had the opportunity of getting that ticket playing in the MPFL, and they played a goalless draw here and went to Jos and lost that game to Mighty Jets of Jos. The same thing happened to NAF FC then. So I think this time around is a different ball game, and for EFCC, they just played the FA Cup final last weekend. I think they are fresh, they are good. And for Mighty Jets of Jos, this is their first game. They've not really been playing games because the season was on break, though they had a couple of some trainings. But overall, just because I'm in the FCT, so I'm wishing EFCC to just take all the 3 points.
Anyway, we're talking about the Northern Conference there. We just look at the A1 fixtures now. Let's look at Group A2, sitting in the Northern Conference. We roll through all the fixtures. Let's look at the A2 now, talking about the fixtures there. Katsina United versus CTFC. CTFC also from Abuja. Green Berets FC from Kaduna. They'll be playing against FWC champions, also of FCT. NAF FC of Abuja will be playing against Jigawa Golden Stars. 3 matches in this particular group.
Big one, big matches there for CTFC. CTFC, I think they will hope to start the season brilliantly. Ever since the season was on break, they've been engaging in pre-season tournaments. They've been engaging in some friendly games, and even last week before the FA final, they had a game at Area 3 Playground. So I think they are good. Last season they had to slug it out with Bendel Insurance, Academy Warriors to get the MPFL ticket, but they couldn't get that ticket. But this time around, I think if they continue, because this is their second season in the NNL, if they continue in that strides where like what happened last season, I think they will be able to get the ticket. And for NAF, I think NAF is one of the oldest team in the FCT, so it's a good one. They are coming up also again this season. Let's see if we can. We have about family worship champions. We have NAF, we have EFCC, we have CTFC. We have a lot of them. So at least we need to produce one team in the MPFL.
I just hope it to be different now, because the same thing happened last season. None of them could make it out of, they all tried their best, but it never happened. But this time around, hopefully, they'll have one slot.
Yes, of course, hopefully, because City FC actually pushed very well to get that MPFL ticket. I think Bendel Insurance was just too good. And they had to run away with the ticket.
They ran away with that particular ticket there. That's football. They did well right now. They are also showing class in the MPFL. Now, let's look at the A3 fixtures in the NNL now. Sokoto United against Kano Pillars. Wow, that's a big match there. Kano Pillars playing against Sokoto United. Kebbi United versus Malum Fashi FC. I think attention will really be on Kano Pillars. See, this is their first match this season in the NNL.
Yes, so Kano Pillars, and they will be playing another team from a state that is not that too far from them. So it's a derby. The game is a derby. But for Kano Pillars, how would they react to life in the NNL? And you know, NNL, it's a league that has to stretch you out. But they are, let me say, they have the experience. They were at the top before now, and they can actually find their way out of the NNL. This is their first game against Sokoto United that has, I think they recruited some players. I know of one player they got on their side. So it's a big one for Kano Pillars. They shouldn't just write this game off. If they really want to make a statement, they need to hit the ground running from this game against Sokoto United.
Well, let's see what the same Sugida boys will be doing right now. Kano Pillars are playing the NNL. I'm sure it's not really realistic for most fans that follow that team. When it comes to football in the north, you just have to look at Kano Pillars. But right now, they have to up their game as they play in the second tier of the Nigerian Football League. They are wishing them the best as they face Sokoto United in that particular encounter today. Now, let's look at Group A4. A4 will also be having their own fixtures. You have Police Machine. They'll be facing DMD, Adamawa United versus Yobe Desert Stars. Those matches also be coming up today in the Group A4. That's another conference. Now we flip it to the Southern Conference of Nigeria, where matches also be coming up. Let's look at B1. Yes, Group B1 fixtures from Southern Conference. We have Rovers FC versus Ensad FC. Vandresa play away to Go Round FC. Go Round is always going around. Let's see what they play.
Go Round FC of Omoku. A big one for Vandresa. Vandresa is a team that is based in Lagos, but is from the southern side, that is Uyo. Going up against both of them, they've known each other in the NNL very well. But one of the matches there for me, a debutant, that is Hensed FC playing against Calabar Rovers, one of the oldest team too in Nigeria. They've been in NNL for quite some time right now. But it's looking good for Vandresa FC also, because they've packaged themselves very well and want to actually see how they can get the MPFL ticket this season. But for Calabar Rovers, we are just looking forward to see them coming back, because these are the teams, old teams that we know in time past. But for them to be in the NNL, it's not really looking good for.
Well, and I think the match that will be very tough there is looking at Vandresa, who really, they've had so much organization, just like Remo Stars. The organization is very perfect. Now they'll be facing Go Round FC, who know how to take it easy with them. While we're looking at that, let's quickly look at B2 matches to be coming up also in the NNL, Group B2 in the Southern Conference. Let's look at those fixtures quickly before we move to B4. We have B2 Joy Comets FC against Ijebu United. Smart City, would they be smart enough against Sporting Lagos? Gateway United, that club is going away to Ogbomoso to face Crown FC in a southwestern derby there. Crown FC of Ogbomoso versus Gateway United of Ogun State, that's Belkuta.
Yeah, Gateway United is also a team that almost got the MPFL ticket last season, but they lost out too. But this time around, playing against Crown FC for Ogbomoso, it's going to be a cracker because it's a southwestern derby. And then for Smart City FC coming up facing Sporting of Lagos, I'm interested, as in I have my interest.
Maybe because I think the name Sporting Lagos sounds so sporty, kind of. So
sporting, because I think I have a little bit of affiliation to that team. I have a connection to that team. So it's my team. I can only just support Sporting.
What's your connection?
No, it's a private one.
Anyway, looking at those games coming up in the Nigerian National League, Northern Conference, and also the Southern Conference. You look at the last group there, Group B4. We've taken the result from Group B3 earlier on. Now we look at the matches coming up in Group B4 now. Giant Brillas, where their goalkeeper is right now with the Super Eagles. Talking about Niagboso is the goalkeeper of Giant Brillas. With FC, they'll be facing Idel FC. You have Abia Comets of Abia State there against Heartland FC of Owerri. Ibom Youth from Akwa, that's Akwa Ibom versus Sinishos FC. Those are the tough matches in the Group B4 Southern Conference.
I think this group is quite very, very tough, because if you look at all the teams that are there, apart from Idel FC, they are one of the biggest and the toughest team you can have in the NNL. And Heartland FC, also who were relegated from the NPFL, will want to bounce back. But against a team like Abia Comets, who also have a good playing structure and every organization going well for them. It's a southeastern derby for me, and it's going to looking good. But for Ibom Youth against Sinosho FC, Ibom Youth will take the 3 points.
You're so sure. Okay. Abia Comets against Heartland FC, a big one there. You can call it Oriental Derby, as they face themselves in the southeastern part of the Southern Conference. B4 fixtures that will just roll out there from Group A1 to 4 for the Northern Conference. Or you have B1, B2, and B4 in the Southern Conference. B3 earlier on, Ikorodu United and also Madiba FC winning their matches against talking about Ebedei, and also not forgetting Ekiti United losing against those teams there. Just giving you updates concerning matches slated for the Nigerian second tier in the Football League in Nigeria. Their NNL is back. I just can't wait to begin to see how those results be pouring in there. Quickly, let's talk about women football. Women Champions League quarterfinal. We have some results there where Barcelona Femenino, they were able to win their game against Roma just by a lone goal. Let's look at those results. Women Champions League quarterfinal result there. Well, right now we look at the fact that Barcelona, they won their game just by a lone goal. And also you look at Arsenal Bayern. Bayern also were able to win by just a lone goal. I see they had a meeting.
It's an interesting result. I think something has changed about the women's football, and something has changed in the Champions League. For Arsenal were on this stage quite some years ago. I think that the last time they graced this occasion was in 2017 thereabout. But for coming up against a Bayern side, who also from their starts they've been brilliant in their last 5 games in the league. They've won all their last 5 games. Arsenal also, apart from the loss, they lost a game before they defeated Chelsea in the FA Women Cup final, where they, I think that was 2 weeks back. But for Arsenal is one of the strongest thing when it comes to women's football in Europe, and losing that game against Bayern at Allianz Arena in Germany is not all over yet. They still have the second leg to come up, and let's see what Arsenal will do at Emirates Stadium.
A big one there coming from Bayern women versus Arsenal women, while Barcelona Femenino also did against Roma Femenile in those games that were played yesterday in the UEFA Champions League for women quarterfinals that we just mentioned there. Now, let's talk about Kylian Mbappe. We saw what he did at the World Cup 4 years ago. He also did well. And now, looking at the fact that he has been made the captain of the Les Bleus, as they call them, French national team, Kylian Mbappe replaced Hugo Lloris as captain of France national team.
Yes, I think he is going to be one of the youngest captain we'll have in the Les Bleus right now, following the footsteps of Hugo Lloris. That was in 2008 when Hugo Lloris took over as the captain.
Hugo Lloris was there for almost 14 years.
14 years. So, and for the coach said he had a meeting with him and Griezmann, because everybody would, if you look at it, Griezmann would have been made the captain because he's one of the oldest player in that team, aside Karim Benzema and the rest of them. Griezmann is one of the oldest, and we would have thought that Griezmann would be handed the captain armband. I think there was a test run for Kylian Mbappe when he has to deputize for Hugo Lloris in one of the games, European qualifiers. And for Kylian Mbappe, I think the coach has thought it wise for this young man to lead, to step help him to lead the team. And right now, he can just, he's a brilliant player, he's a good player, a 66 cap with a number of, I think 36 goals in total right now. And in the last World Cup, he won the highest goal scorer award in Qatar. So I think for Kylian Mbappe, he has those leadership qualities. All this Captain Ambad is doing right now is just to tell him to keep doing what he knows how to do and do more.
Well, some people actually suggested that Griezmann should have been given the opportunity, no matter how short.
Yeah, no matter how short it is, but because the coach had already had a meeting with both of them, and Griezmann would deputize for him whenever he's not there. So if Griezmann is okay with it, and then the other players support it, then let it be. But for Kylian Mbappe, I think it's good they give him the captaincy.
I just hope it will be real, because we know a lot of issues concerning French Le Bleu, a lot of issues. By the time you open the can of worms, I still remember Benzema and they have shot a striker then. A lot of issues concerning that squad that is even affecting them. But let's leave that aside as we look at the last straw on the show, talking about Jorge Sampaoli being relieved by Sevilla after looking at their stand on the table over there in Spanish La Liga. Sevilla sacked manager Jorge Sampaoli 2 points above relegation zone.
Yeah, this man took over in October after Julian Lopetegui left the place, and just after 6 months he has been shown the exit door. In their last 7 games they've lost 5, so it's not really looking good. 2 points above the relegation zone, and 2 points can just be lost in just a game. So well, let's see the new man that will be coming in. Can he turn things around for Sevilla?
Maybe they should just hire you.
If they come for me, then I will do better than Sampaoli.
Are you sure?
Yes, of course.
Those players will not want to play for you. That will be it on 360 Sport on Trust TV with Emmanuel Fashimi. Thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.
At least for the fact that you actually smile. You've been a bit, I'm Adeni Yusuf. Thanks for watching.